Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Whoa, yeah, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I am here with Jaguar Joel.
Oh, man. Jaguar Joel, I like that. Hey, guys, what's up?
Yeah, we are here for a summer classic.
Summer blockbuster.
We are going to review Sleepaway Camp from 1983.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, this one I've heard a lot about and just never seen it. Was this your first time watching it?
This was, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
This was my first time watching it.
Okay. Well, we'll
so there's
see.
no nostalgia for either one of us for this
Yeah,
one. This
yeah,
is,
no.
This is a pure, unfiltered review.
Yeah. Okay, who's in this one?
So this one stars Felissa Rose. She is Angela, our main character. She was in Victor Crowley, Slaughter Party, and Return to Sleepaway Camp, and she's going to be in Terrifier 2.
Oh, yeah, I was hoping you were going to mention that.
Of course. Can't not mention that one.
Yeah. Victor Crowley, I think that's like Hatchet. I think that's like Hatchet 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those for sure.
Yeah.
And then
She's been consistent with the movies she's been in.
She has been. And I looked it up. She's been in like 147 things.
Oh, wow.
But like at least half of them were just from like 2021 and 2020. Like,
wow.
She's in a lot of stuff like this year.
Oh, wow.
And the last few years. So it's been consistent lately, as of maybe the last 10 years or so.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking consistent as far as like the quality of the film.
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
She's sticking
Definitely.
with that same genre, we'll say.
Yeah. She definitely is. And the next person is sticking with it as well. Jonathan Tiersten, he plays Ricky, which I believe was Angela's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And he is also in Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Ooh.
Toilet Zombie Baby Strikes Back.
What? Hold on.
Strikes Back. So there's been a first one.
Toilet Zombie Baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like a Captain Underpants book title. Captain Underpants and the Toilet Zombie
man.
Babies.
So bad. And Sausages.
Oh, nice.
Like slaughter and sausages.
Yeah.
Sausages.
Okay. Man, we got
So,
some
yeah,
good ones we got to review.
Yeah. They will definitely get reviewed at some point in the next few years. And then we have Mike Kellen. He is the older guy. He plays Mel, the older man.
Okay.
I put him on here because I figured I recognized him from something. I just didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently this was the last movie he ever did because he died in 1983.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
And he was in Midnight Express.
Okay.
Which may have been what I saw him in. I don't even remember it. None of the titles really sounded familiar to me. But The Jazz Singer and Terror at Alcatraz.
Okay.
So he's been acting since like the 50s. So
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he did look a little familiar to me as well.
I just don't know what, especially since he died the year that this movie came out.
Yeah.
And this was written and directed by Robert Hiltzik.
Okay.
Hiltzik. He wrote Return to Sleepaway Camp. So
I like that. I like that pause there.
Under his name, he was credited for 5 things.
Okay.
One of them was writing Sleepaway Camp. The other one was writing Return to Sleepaway Camp, and then characters by.
Yeah.
For Sleepaway Camp, I didn't know there were 4 Sleepaway Camp movies.
Oh my gosh.
Well, 5 including Return to Sleepaway Camp. So
wow.
But 2, 3, and 4, he didn't have any. He didn't write any of them.
So wait, hold on. So there's Sleepaway Camp, Sleepaway Camp 2, 3, and 4.
2, 3, and 4,
and then
Return
to Sleepaway Camp. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking Return was like the second one.
You would think that it would be, yeah. Return didn't even came out in 2008.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So not even that
I'd
long
be
ago.
interested to see how that one is.
I was looking it up. I was like, is this like a documentary, like a making of type of thing for Sleepaway Camp? But it didn't say anything like that. It had an actual cast. So I'm like, okay, well, the fact that he came back and Angela and Ricky both came back, I was like, this has to be some sort of like a documentary or something like that.
Yeah.
Especially since it was like 30 years after.
Right.
Or 25 or so years after.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like an actual, like, legit sequel. So.
Okay.
And this was directed by Robert Hiltzik, and he directed Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Okay.
That's it.
That's all we got, huh?
That's all we got for
all right.
So he's done like 2 things this entire in his filmography.
Cool. Okay, so this one's about Angela Baker, a shy, traumatized young girl. She's sent to summer camp with her cousin. Shortly after her arrival, anyone with sinister or less than honorable intentions gets their... What?
Does it say comeuppance?
Comeuppance. Yes. Okay. Gets their comeuppance.
Gets what they deserve.
Okay. That's a new word for me. I don't know if I've heard that word before, but all right. Gets their comeuppance.
Comeuppance.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know that word?
I do. Yeah. Okay. It is. Right. It is a fairly old word, but yeah. I mean, people don't use it very often anymore.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Huh.
But I have heard it once or twice before.
All right. So this one, I said it's a summer classic. I know, people who like horror movies definitely know about this movie. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people have seen this movie, and I remember hearing about it when I was a kid, and just never had seen it. So I know it's like a well-known 80s slasher.
Mm-hmm.
And did you know how it ended before going in to watch it?
I had heard something. I didn't like it. It was still. I didn't expect it, I guess.
Okay.
But I had heard like rumors or whatever about how the movie ended, and I was just like, okay, well. I mean, for like a rumor or something, and I was like, all right, that's whatever. So I wasn't expecting, I guess, how it ended still, because it was still like a rumor to me. Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I had the ending ruined a while back. I was watching probably some YouTube video on twist endings or something, and
best of twist endings.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that, and it was mentioned. So. I did kind of know what was going to happen. I don't think it's like a big reveal on who the killer is. I think that's kind of obvious throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
But there's a piece to who the killer is that you didn't think she owned. So
that's one way of putting it.
So, yeah. So it wasn't as shocking to me. But I know that that's kind of what this movie is known for, too, is that that ending. So, which is literally the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing after that part. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's literally like, the last 2 seconds of the movie. And it ends.
Okay. Let's get into some positives. Joel.
All right.
What do you have there?
So there was a character in here. When I saw the name on like the cast, like in the beginning of the movie, Robert Earl Jones. And I was like, I wonder if he's related to James Earl Jones. Yeah. And I like looked him up, and I was like, it's his dad.
Oh, really?
Real life. And so when they showed him for the first, I mean, he's only in like a couple of scenes. And
he's like the cook's friend or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, that's him. Like, he looks like James Earl Jones. He kind of sounds like him too.
Yeah.
And just like that's kind of an interesting little, like, I'd never seen him in anything before.
Yeah. I never even knew his dad was an actor.
Yeah, I didn't either. So that was kind of a cool little thing to see on there. Has nothing to do with the actual movie itself. But,
yeah, that's a positive, huh?
I mean, it's not a positive or a negative. It's
okay, just, it's fun fact.
A little bit of trivia.
Okay.
So I do like some of the kill scenes in the movie. There's one. I mean, there's not a whole lot of like blood and gore in this movie for being a slasher film.
Yeah.
But there was one scene with one of the bully girls. I think what was her name? Meg.
Okay.
I think she's like in the shower and she gets stabbed through the shower.
Yeah.
And like it's the knife is going down her back.
Yeah.
Like, that's
that was
okay.
Definitely my favorite.
That's not
kill.
Yeah, I was like, that's definitely not something that you see very often. Like the knife going down the back like that once it's in. It was like, okay.
I wonder how easy that would be to do. That would have to be quite a knife. Like she wasn't even like, sawing it down. It was just like straight down. Like
yeah. I don't know.
And like straight down the door too. She had to go down the door.
Yeah.
So that was a hell of a knife.
It was quite the shower kill there. For sure.
Yeah.
The acting for her wasn't good, like at all.
No.
Like, okay, that's not believable. Come on.
No.
But that kill scene was pretty cool. And yeah.
All right.
That's literally it.
Okay.
You can probably tell I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie.
All right. So for me, yes, that kill. Mm-hmm. And then going into this movie, it's a 80s slasher, so you kind of already have this idea that it's going to be cheesy, right? So that's what I was hoping for. And when it comes to like cheesy 80s movies, they can be really, really good as far as entertaining if done right. If there's like a certain charm to it, And I feel like this movie had that for like the first 20 minutes or so. There were parts where I was like, wow, this is just making me laugh. Some of the acting was just so ridiculous. And like, so the cook, how creepy he was, and like he was talking about like when the kids showed up and he was talking to, I guess, James Earl Jones' dad. He was talking to him, the stuff he was saying. I was like, oh my gosh, this is too much. And then his kill, that was hilarious. How he was just laying there. And it's like for so long, he's laying on the ground just screaming. And it's like, this has to be a joke. Like this, like you have to, nobody can film this and say, okay, that was good.
And cut.
All right, cut. Good. That was a good shot right there, guys. Good scene.
These were guys that didn't believe in retakes.
No,
it was just like a one take and that's it.
Right, but yeah, so the first 20 minutes or so had that 80s cheese charm. So it was like good cheesy for the first 20 minutes or so.
Part of it was, I mean, it was decent. Part of it was,
the like setup and the mom, or I guess the aunt. She's a lot.
She's actually a negative of mine because it's
so unbelievable,
so ridiculous.
And it was just like, I was watching it thinking, what? Why? Like, what am I watching? You know, and that's kind of what I want when it comes to these movies. So it had that for about 20 minutes, but then it lost it for the rest of the movie. So, and then that kill. And that's about the positives for me, too. So
okay. So you liked the 80s cheesiness that it was doing a good job with for about 20 minutes, and then the kill.
And then that one kill. Yeah.
So you barely liked more of it than me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're probably going to piss a lot of people off with this one.
Yeah, I'm wondering why people like this movie so much.
Nostalgia. I guarantee you it's nostalgia. Like, if they watch this for the first time today, there's no way the people that liked it back then or love it now because of like the second time they watched it when they were a kid, they wouldn't like it today. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, I don't get it. So, all right, let's get into some negatives.
Okay.
So what do you have for negatives? I'll kind of jump in here and there when you mention things because I'm sure we'll have some of the same negatives. So for me, what makes a good horror movie is you have to, well, first of all, you have to like characters. Okay. There was not one likable character in this entire movie. No.
Even the cousin Ricky was annoying after a while.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, this guy's just whining the entire time.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing.
He was kind of a spoiled little brat. Well, and some of the characters, like, I couldn't tell, like, were they adults or were they kids? Like, some of them, they were, like, treated as adults or acting like adults, but they were, I think, kids. I don't know. I was a little confused with some of the
They
relationships.
Were like the camp counselors or whatever. It seemed like the older kids, like Meg, I think was one, like the bullies, basically. Yeah. Like the camp counselors of these kids.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not who you want as a camp counselor. You don't want a bully to, like, some, like, teenage bully.
Yeah.
But,
this definitely took some inspiration from Friday the 13th, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Lots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to give it another positive. I was like, maybe this came out before Friday the 13th, so maybe this was... Nope, it did not. This came out like 3 movies in.
Oh, yeah.
To Friday the 13th. It's like, okay, I can't even give it like originality points. Like, this is not even... There's nothing redeemable about this movie except for like maybe a couple of the kill scenes. And the characters were just this movie actually like made me mad at certain points because it's like there's no way people would act like this.
Yeah.
Especially like the cook, like,
oh my gosh,
opening up the movie.
Yeah.
Just making me mad because
so
there's no way.
I'm like, I mean, was the 80s? Was this just commonplace? I don't know.
Like they just went into the pantry. Like, there were a bunch of people in the other room.
Yeah.
That easily could have walked in at any time.
Right.
And Ricky did, but luckily before anything happened.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just so like unbelievable. Like that wouldn't have happened in real life. And of course, like, of course he's going to die because he's a bad person.
Yeah.
And
I thought he was going to live a little longer. He died pretty quickly in the movie.
He did die pretty quick. Yeah. He definitely did. Well, did he die? I thought they
I guess maybe he didn't die
in an ambulance.
Yeah, we don't know.
Because he just got like scalding water.
Yeah.
I mean, that would really hurt, but I don't know if it would actually kill you.
Yeah. I don't think we learned that he actually died, but he was taken away pretty early in the movie.
Yeah. And then just like the bullies, I was like, I feel no sympathy for what these girls are going to be going through at some point in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like a key thing about like horror movies is, especially slasher movies, you want to like some characters so that when they die, you actually feel something for those characters.
Right.
There was nothing in this movie. There was not one person that died that was like, oh, that sucks. And like, no, they all deserve to die.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. And that's a big thing for me with horror movies. It's like I get what they're doing, but I wanted to, like, you want to feel something with the movies that you're watching.
Yeah.
And if you don't care at all about the characters that are going through, whatever it is they're going through, like, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So that's probably like my biggest issue I have with this movie. And the acting was really bad. I mean, it's an 80s movie, so
yeah,
it's an 80s horror slasher. You don't really expect the best acting, but some would be nice.
I think we could have done a better job.
Oh yeah, we definitely could have. Oh man. And then the twist. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm gonna give it away because this movie's like 40 years old at this point. Angela is Angelo.
Yeah.
Basically is a boy.
Yeah.
And that's like the big twist. Okay. What? Why is that like? And what you were watching, like the twists, like horror movie twists.
Yeah.
Like I want to know what number that came up as.
Yeah,
like, why
it was
is that
up
even
there.
a thing?
Yeah. I don't know. It was so unnecessary.
Who cares?
Yeah. It was just like, okay. Just to, like, for shock value, I guess, or I don't know.
I guess people really cared about that back then, but it's like, all right. That it did nothing.
Yeah, it didn't, like, I mean, I guess it made sense once they, kind of explained how this boy, how he grew up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it wasn't like, oh, that's why, this happened. Okay. No, it was just an extra added thing in the last 5 seconds of the movie.
Yeah.
So
they're like, we need to add something else to this. Let's add a twist.
Yeah.
Oh, let's make Angela a boy. Like, I mean, it makes sense as far as her not wanting to shower with the other girls.
Yeah, I guess there's some of that, but
that didn't need to be explained.
Yeah,
I don't care. Maybe she's an awkward teenage girl and doesn't want to shower with other girls. Like it's it could have been a number of reasons why.
And what I was, after that scene, I was like, is this even legal? Like, this is a minor, and we're seeing some parts of the minor that I feel like is not legal. So I thought that was a little interesting.
A little weird. Yeah.
And then I was thinking, I'm surprised this movie hasn't been canceled with how it might make these people seem.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, it doesn't make someone from that community look very good, I wouldn't say. Killing people, like the way she was, like, so quiet.
They did deserve to go.
Right, right. But, I mean, it can...
Yeah.
I could see it being perceived as a negative thing. So...
Yeah, definitely can be.
I guess this movie isn't in pop culture enough, and maybe horror fans don't really care that much. So...
Like we mentioned before in that cancel culture episode, the horror community, they're not the ones that are canceling movies.
Right.
So it's someone, it's one of those people that are actually canceling movies that would watch this movie and be like, oh, that's not right. That's, they're the ones that would make a big deal about it.
Yeah.
But this movie isn't, it's popular amongst the horror community, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like the average movie watcher isn't. They may have heard about the title, but they most likely have never seen the movie.
Yeah.
Those things. And the aunt. Her 1920s acting. Like,
yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't know where she came from. First of all, to just be that was that was so
weird.
beyond bad acting.
So weird. I mean, I guess that was the point, though, because she's the one that like forced this transition on Angelo, I guess was his name.
I just gave Angelo
okay.
the name of Angelo. I don't think that was the name.
Okay, when you said that, I was like, I don't know if that was his name. I don't know if they ever said what his name was, but
I don't think they mentioned it.
But she was the one that kind of like forced that on him. So maybe that was the point, to make her seem a little crazy,
to give her this ridiculous like. It's not even an accent. That's just like how she talked.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain. You'd have to, like, I would recommend watching the first like 20 minutes of this movie, just to get a good laugh and see what we're talking about, because it's really hard to put your finger on and explain.
Yeah, it really is.
And then turn it off.
Yeah, you don't need to watch it.
Yeah, after the cook gets boiled, then you can turn it off.
Yeah.
So it's about as far as you need to go.
I don't know what was up with... Okay, so after the quote-unquote big reveal at the end of the movie, she has like a growl or something. Like, what?
Yeah.
Her voice is like suddenly lower.
Yeah.
Like, she's growling, and then like the movie cuts out.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is she like a beast? Is she turning into a monster?
Yeah, it's kind of what it seemed like. Like, she was like animalistic.
Because she's a boy now. Because everyone knows she's a boy, so she's turning into a monster.
Yeah, I was expecting a little more at the end, where it was like, this reveal, and then something was going to happen after that, but it just was over after that. So
yeah,
like, okay, I think it was probably a really big deal when it was new. So apparently it is.
Yeah, I think it was when it first came out.
Yeah,
I don't know. Even if like, the kind of the community wasn't as big as it is today, I just don't. If it were basically the same as it were back in the early 80s when this movie came out, I don't know why that would be like such a big... I still wouldn't understand why that would be such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, that explains everything. Like, that's what a twist is supposed to do.
Yeah. This was just something thrown in at the end for really no reason.
Shock value.
Yeah. Didn't explain anything. It didn't do anything, but I mean, this is what you'll remember the movie for, probably.
Well, that's sad. If that's the thing, if that's the only thing you're going to take from this movie, you have a bad movie.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
The last 5 seconds of an hour and a half movie is the only thing you're going to remember.
Yeah.
Okay, my rant is over. I think I've pretty much said everything, maybe.
Okay. All right. I just think the movie was pretty boring overall. Like I said, that first 20 minutes, I got some entertainment, some laughs, just some like, what the hell is happening? Moments. But then the rest of it was just really dull. Like the whole, there was like a love triangle going on, and it seemed like an 80s low budget teen camp movie. And then with some kills thrown in, which the kills, besides the one that we mentioned, they were pretty weak. Mostly like off screen. And the bee one,
the beehive one,
that was weird.
I don't know, was he allergic to them?
I don't know. That was
there
weird.
There were a lot more bees after, because they were like eating him. It looked like when he.
And it was like 5 seconds.
That's not how bees work.
She put the hive in the stall with him, and then 5 seconds later, he's like mutilated by bees. So that was just weird. Like the kills were just weird, not very good. And it was just boring. Like it was just a really odd movie. It felt, like I said, like a teen, low-budget camp movie with nudity, like underage nudity for some reason, and like some kills that were weak, and there wasn't like a mystery at all. Like usually in these types of movies where the killer is not seen, you would think that there'd be a mystery, but the whole time who the killer is. It's very obvious. Yeah. So I thought that was, I don't know, it was just a really bad movie. So many problems. Yeah. And there's one part, the music was really loud. I'll say that. The music was didn't really add much to the movie. It was kind of annoying. And it was really loud. And there's a part in the movie, this is kind of where I'm talking about, where it's like kind of boring. We watched like an entire softball game for some reason. Like, how is this? Is this going anywhere? Like, what's the point of this like 10-minute piece of the movie where we're watching a softball game? I'm like, okay. And didn't matter. Nothing happened with that. Just, all right.
Yeah.
So
you're softball in this horror movie.
Here we go.
All right.
All right. Okay.
You ready for this scene?
Next scene.
Softball.
Just a bad movie.
It really was.
And it's pretty embarrassing that this is seen as such a classic, I guess. I don't know if I want to say a classic, because when you think of classic, you think of a lot of other movies. I mean, it maybe an 80s slasher classic, I would say.
It did well enough to make 4 more sequels.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It's baffling.
This movie is like, this should have been like part 4 of the Sleepaway Camp movies.
Oh yeah.
It was so bad. It was like, this is not where you start from and make a franchise out of.
Yeah.
This is where you end the franchise.
Yeah. This is really incredible. Like, I was blown away watching it, thinking this is supposed to be good. And I just didn't get it. I didn't get it because like I said, there's that cheesiness, that like so bad it's good factor that a lot of horror movies have, especially from the 80s, that make them rewatchable still. This had that for a very small portion of the movie, and then the rest of it didn't have that. So I just don't get the like redeeming qualities that this movie has for people to still talk about it and watch it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we're in a couple of horror movie groups, and I've seen this movie mentioned several times.
Oh yeah,
in those groups.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it as a kid, and I mean, that was 83 when this came out, and I was born in 87, so it wasn't like it was new when I was born. So why would I have heard about it in the 90s?
Yeah,
it's such a bad movie. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of other 80s movies that I have not heard of. That are better, I would hope.
That are better, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So, anyways, maybe we'll have to do like an 80s slasher series. That might be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Like the first of, or maybe not the entire series.
Well, yeah, no, just like some random 80s. Those. Yeah. I
mean, we've already done Sleepaway Camp, and then Silent Night, Deadly Night was another one we did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch.
Yeah.
We haven't
definitely.
done yet. And we will get to our Friday the 13th series at some point.
Yeah, and the whole reason for doing this movie was it's summer, just about, and wanted to pick something summer-ish for horror, and the first thing you think of is Friday, but we're going to do that whole series eventually, so wanted to do something other than that, and this is my fault. I take full responsibility. This was my idea. So,
you're the one that came up with this one. I came up with what was it? Exorcism Emily Rose.
Yeah,
was one, but we'll get to that one eventually too.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I'm glad we did this one. I mean, this is the whole reason why we have a podcast in the first place, to review movies we've never seen before, right?
Yeah.
Movies that we have and movies that we haven't. So
right.
I never would have watched this if it hadn't been for this podcast. So.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But.
Yeah. All right. Let's grade it.
All right.
What do you got?
This one is getting a 37.
Okay. Nice. I'm going 32.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
Keep it in the 30s.
Yeah. So some might be confused because I gave Army of the Dead, if you've been listening, gave that a much lower score. Again, this is a bad movie. Army of the Dead was an angering movie. So that's why it's lower. This one is Army of the Dead is a better movie. So take that for what it's worth.
You were just ranting about that one.
I was not happy with that one.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't the first one to do that though.
Right.
To have those CGI zombies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You'd give World War Z probably like a negative score.
Probably. Yeah.
That was like the first of them to do that. But. We probably won't do that one though. So.
Yeah, no, we can pass on that one. All right. Well, this has been our episode on Sleepaway Camp. And you can find us on Facebook at Scare Talk Podcast, on Twitter at Scare Talk Pod, on Instagram at Scare Talk. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating. And this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let Angela or Angelo bite.